Compression. Guru compression. The one topic in audio engineering that's like a doormat in every home. The first thing to welcome you. You boldly walk in thinking it was just a simple welcome and everyone understands what welcome means, until you get inside and realize it might have been more than just a simple welcome. Now you have to step outside to re-enter again, just so you can properly read what else could be written on it that you probably missed out on. That there is every newbie's typical entry experience into audio engineering. Pay attention to detail. BiiMan. Yo guys, I'm BiiMan and you're welcome to the video. This is a special edition as we talk on one of the most important and recurrent topics in mixing and mastering, compression. With the understanding that the conversation on compression can never be fully exhausted, my belief is that you probably already understand how a compressor works. So let's skip right to the part I can bet you still struggle with a bit, or to say the least, you still get unsure about. Decision making. Today, we talk about decision making when it comes to compression, and indeed, there's a whole lot of decisions you always have to make in a split second whenever you just think about compression in a mix or mastering session. These decisions range from 1. The first and most important, whether to compress or not. 2. If to compress, what choice of compressor to use, and 3. What compressor settings to use. Because I understand attention span has greatly decreased generally, I'll be lying to say we can cover this topic in a single short video, but I'll do the most to streamline this information to make it more easier to understand and hopefully more interesting at the same time. Actually, it would be nice to make this a series, so this will be a 3-episode series, and with this being the first episode, we'll focus only on the first decision to make, which is whether to compress or not. Guys, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the second and third episode when it drops within the following days. So, 1. To compress or not. Guys, you ever wondered why your decision making was easier and you even knocked down a few great mixes, though not so great, and you did it faster too when you didn't know everything you now know? Panic not, you're not learning backwards. There's actually a reason to that. Thing is, the brain naturally has a hard time making decisions when presented with too many ideas and options, especially ideas that haven't fully yet developed or haven't been properly explored. Because you now know compression and understand how it works, doesn't mean you have to compress every single sound you come across during mixing. Sometimes, the best mixing decision you can make is leaving a sound untouched and unbothered. What you think needs compression might just need a simple volume fader move. If it's sounding too loud in context with other instruments, first reduce the gain level. This 40% of the time is all it needs. Another 30% of the time, it actually needs just volume automation. I know you don't like automation. Yes, you there, I'm talking to you. You think volume automation is boring work, don't you?
On a normal level, you're supposed to treat me like human being. On a normal level, you're supposed to treat me like human being.
Anyways, guys, the remaining 30% of the time is when you actually have to compress. So, when do you really compress? I'll say compress when something sounds too dynamic and still doesn't sound full. You see, the key phrase here is still doesn't sound full, because sometimes too dynamic is what you actually want. Too dynamic in the sense that the levels are not consistent. The peaks get really high and the lows get really low. Basically, compress when something doesn't have a good crest factor. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. So what is crest factor? In summary, crest factor is the ratio between the highest peak and the lowest point in a sound. A very compressed sound that probably has no dynamics and most likely distorted has a low crest factor. Guys, let's forget the science and just talk on how to decide when to compress or not. Basically, Compress when you want to keep the movement of a sound stable.
Mama, 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 I just shut a man down. Mama, 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 I just shut a man down.
This works by pushing down on the peaks and bringing up a bit of what's in the bottom. This not only makes a sound source stable, but also makes it feel much more fuller. If this is not your primary intention, you might as well just leave the sound alone if you haven't tried out automation. Sometimes, you can benefit from the fact that compression helps make sounds feel fuller to hard compress your drum bursts with parallel compression and get more body and punch out of your drums. Guys, check out these drums, first without and then with parallel compression. Another reason you might want to compress is basically for aesthetic and sonic reasons. This is always like a tertiary reason behind you even wanting to compress. For aesthetics, let me show you how you can use this one compressor to bring out so many different beautiful sounds and varying feelings out of a single snare hit by just tweaking different settings on the compressor. This is the uncompressed snare. And this is the compressed snare. For sonics, the thing is, the best analog emulated compressors are not linear. These compressors are modeled with the sonic character, texture, and feel of their analog counterparts that oftentimes introduce a certain pleasing richness to your sound. At times, this is actually what you might need out of deciding whether to compress or not, as these subtle additions to your sound on different elements across the mix always go a long way to add depth and richness to your mix. So guys, that's it for today. Stay glued to the channel while I cook up episode 2 and 3 of this series, so you don't miss out when it drops within the days. That's to say, like, comment and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Take care.